She goes, yeah, I caught you at my boyfriend's house when we were together. And I was like, oh God, this cannot be happening a year later. Like, you guys, this was the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Life with Lycette. I am so happy you guys are here because today we have a very juicy topic. So before we dive into this video, let's go ahead and grab our drinks. So this one is a dirty martini crafted by Wheatley. Dirty martini for the dirtiest and juiciest topic of them all. All right, so we're gonna dive right into this. So I don't know if you guys have heard of the Facebook group, Are We Dating the Same Guy? I was just recently exposed to this and I cannot get enough. It's so juicy, but it's so good. So essentially the whole Facebook group is about people that are dating the same person, or they want to know if they're dating the same person. So just kind of picture this. You go on a date with somebody and you're like, oh God, like I wish there was a way to find out if this guy was dating anybody else, if he was seeing anybody else, if anybody else that has dated him have seen red flags with this person. Like, isn't that every girl's like dream come true to like know beforehand? What happened was I just happened to be scrolling, right? And my friend was like, oh, have you heard of this group? She sent it to me and I literally was on it for hours. I'm not even lying to you. But there was one story that really jumped out to me because I low-key kind of have a little story of my own. But before we get into that, I'm going to talk about the one that I've read. So this girl went on a date with somebody and had the best time ever. And she, like every other girl on that group, was like, hey, I want to know, has anybody dated this guy? Has anybody, had any experiences with him? Like, are you his ex? Can you tell me a little bit about him? Which I just love this for us. I think it's amazing. Like, I'm so happy that this is where we're at in life, that you can actually like get some intel on somebody before you date them. Anyways, so this girl went on this date, had the most fabulous date. She goes on this Facebook group, posts him, and was like, hey, this is the guy I'm seeing. Does anybody know anything? There was not one, not two, not three, but like 20 comments about this guy. And they're like, oh my God, yes, girl, red flag, red flag. So of course, I kind of dive in a little deeper. I'm like, okay, let me do some little investigation here. And I actually happened to find out that there was a girl that commented on this thread and she was like, this seems very familiar. What day were you there and what time did you leave? I was like, oh shit, this is about to get really good. So I start, going through the thread, and turns out that this girl happened to leave this man's house at 10 o'clock at night. At 10:30, the girl that's commenting on her thread showed up on the same day, the same night, right after she just had this date with this man. So not only does she know him, she was with him and slept with him on the same night. Like, what is going on? Like, honestly, I know a lot of you guys are probably hearing this story and you're not shocked at all because, no offense, but some guys aren't shit. But I love this, that we have this Facebook group that we can all kind of talk it out and say, hey, like, should I continue dating this guy or should I not? And in this case, the girl got all of the intel she needed. She literally was like, okay, no, that's all I needed to know. You can have him. I don't want him. The fact that he just saw you in the same night after I left his house, like, that tells me everything I need to know. So that brings me to my story. Now, my story is a little different, I would say, but I had no idea. Like, I did not see this coming. So I happened to be talking to a basketball player who played for UNLV here in Las Vegas. And he invited me over to his house. Now, mind you guys, we were just friends. I had not kissed this man. I had not flirted with this man. I had no business other than being his friend. So I come over, go to his house. He has other roommates. Nobody's home though, but just him and I. And the second I walk in his room, I see People magazine on the corner of his nightstand. And I was like, oh, like, that's strange. I was like, oh, People magazine. And it was like, I don't even know, somebody was on it, like some pop star or something. So I'm like, that's very weird that a man would have this on his nightstand. So I mentioned it. He was like, oh, it's my mom. She was just in town. Like, she just left yesterday and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, what does he have to lie about? I'm not dating him, so he could be honest with me. But again, men aren't shit, because why are you lying to me about this when we're just friends? Anyway, so we start hanging out. He's studying. He has an exam coming up, so he's just playing music, and I'm reading the People magazine. Now that I'm listening to this back, it's so embarrassing. I start reading through it while he's studying. We're not even talking. All of a sudden, doom, 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 banging on the door. Ringing the doorbell, like literally ringing of the doorbell non-stop. And I'm like, I look at him and he's looking at me. I'm confused. He was completely like going crazy. Like he was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You could just see it in his eyes that he was about to get caught up. I don't know with what, because I was just his friend. And why didn't I even know that you had a girlfriend? Because I wouldn't even be here in the first place. But you could tell he was stressed. So he tells me, can you please go to my roommate's, which happens to be the master bedroom. Can you please go to my roommate's room and just hide in there? I'm like, excuse me, what? Like, what is happening? Like, I don't know what's going on. But of course I did it because I don't even know like what to expect. Like, who is somebody about to beat my ass? Like, I don't even know what's going on. So I go into this person's room that I don't even know, and I hear him run downstairs. He goes and opens the door. The first words that come out of her mouth, who the fuck is in this house? And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, okay, wait, maybe I need to migrate from the room to the bathroom and lock myself in it because what is about to happen? So I end up hearing their conversation, and she's like, there's a car outside with a California plate on it and this, and that. The second he lied to her about that is when I knew. I mean, I already knew, but I knew. We're both fucked because he was like, oh, it's my friend. My friend's visiting my roommate from out of town. That's her car. Another lie. I'm like, what is going on? Like, we could have avoided this whole situation if you would have just told me you had a girlfriend in the first place, because I'm sorry, but I am not the girl that's a homewrecker. I'm not coming into somebody else's relationship. I'm just not that girl. But he made me that girl, and I didn't even know it. So anyway, she starts opening and closing doors. I said, my life is over. I might as well be dead, because what? She's about to come up here and I'm not prepared for this. You guys, I was like 21 years old or 20 years old. Like, I was scared shitless. I'm not gonna lie to you. So she comes upstairs. She's now going through all the rooms, and the last room she hasn't gone to was the roommate's room that I was in. I hear her open the door. I'm on the freaking toilet with a magazine. Like, at this point, I'm just trying to like keep myself busy. And she opens the door, and I just lock eyes with her, and she's like, I fucking knew it! I knew it! And she like storms out of the room. At this point, I'm coming out of the room like, hey. You know that meme, that video that's like, hey y'all, how's it going? Like, that was me. Now I hear them like literally yelling at each other, and she was like, you did this to me again? I said, oh no, this man is not playing with this girl. Like, at this point, I have her back because I hardly even know him. So I come out and I was like, hey girl, I just need to let you know, like, I do not know him like that. Me and him were just friends. He never even told me he had a girlfriend or I would not be here. And I think she believed me. I don't know. But at that point, I was like, I got to let myself out. So I was like, you guys can handle this. I'm just letting you know nothing happened. And he didn't tell me he had a girlfriend. So I start, walking out of the house. Now, this is where things get crazy. Fast forward to like 2 years later, I'm dating a man. I've already been with him for like a year and a half. I'm at a sushi restaurant and my friend walks in and I was like, oh my God, like, hey, not even realizing who he was with because I had only seen her that one night. And he goes, oh, this is my girlfriend. He goes to introduce me to her and she says, I've already met her. And in my back of my mind, I'm like, what? Like, how do we? And you could see it on my face. I was like, oh, we have? And she goes, yeah, I caught you at my boyfriend's house when we were together. And I was like, oh God, this cannot be happening a year later. Like, you guys, this was the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me. So we weren't dating the same man, but it definitely felt like it because I hardly even knew this man, but he put me in a situation that I did not know I was about to be a part of. So that is my story. I know for a fact you guys have to have stories like this, and I would love to hear them, and I'm sure other people watching would love to hear your business too. So if you guys have a crazy story, like the craziest story you've ever been through, it doesn't even have to be you, your friends, your family members, anybody, let us know down in the comments because we can start our own little Are We Dating the Same Guy, group here in our own comments. So make sure that you guys do that for all of us. Thank you. But anyways, that is it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for being here. As always, make sure that you guys have your notifications on, like this video, comment down below, and make sure you're subscribed. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next show. Bye.